Bonjour, and welcome to all of you comic book geeks, readers, and collectors to the special edition for you collectors. Sometimes it's not just about reading comics, it's about having them. And I know over the years, and it's only now I realise what a hoarder I am. I need stuff, but that stuff is only comics. I need entire runs, or I need an entire set, or I need. What do I need? No, I want it. I need. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Psychologically, I'm in a mess. But all right. I know you're all agreeing. Yeah, you're all nodding your head. Yeah. We knew that, Hog. Yeah, we knew that. Oh, thanks. But in the past 2 weeks, I tell you what, I couldn't have had. I don't think I could have had any much more fun. Even if Taylor Swift and Kylie had double teamed me, had kidnapped me, double teamed me, and had their wicked way with me, I don't think I could have had a better time over the past couple of weeks. And to be fair, I can look back on these guys. That's another age thing, isn't it? I'm not, Kylie, Taylor, if you are watching, I'm not saying I don't want to do it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I've really enjoyed picking up these comics in the past couple of weeks. So are we ready? Are you ready? I'm not going to do the scroll. I'm just going to jump straight into it and show you the haul, not in any particular order of what I bought them, in the order I bought them in, but the order of, I don't know, the order of reference. So, when I was a lad, right, in the 70s, Warlord. It was Warlord and Bullet. And I was doing a Commando swap meet. I put it all over threads, and you sexy subscribers must know by now that I write Commando, because I do happen to mention it every now and again. I don't care. I'm proud. I'm proud of what I did. Anyway, I picked up, look, and I won't show you everything, but this is where my comic book journey began. Well, just after, and if you've watched my memoir videos, I should really do the latest one that brings it right up to date, to be fair, but I've kind of kept the memoir videos as and when I feel like in the mood, because I've got to dig all the comics out and the collection's in a mess, and I don't want to make more mess. Look at the mess. Anyway. So, this is where I began. Warlord, Bullet, just before 2000 AD. Well, just before battle and action, and just before 2000 AD. It was the heady times of the mid-70s in the UK. Anyway, I picked up, look at this, look. So I've done the Commando swap meet, and the guy behind me, look, had all these issues that I had missing. Yes, now somehow I've got to fit them into the box that's already full of Warlords. But this is what I mean about the collector. Just one, like I say, I won't show you every cover, but look like an early Ian Kennedy. And if you are a UK centric comic book aficionado, you know who Ian Kennedy is. But you can just tell that's an Ian Kennedy cover. You can just tell. And the other thing that UK comics used to do in the 70s was give you a free gift. Yes, we wanted free gifts. And to be fair, the entire UK comic industry is all plastic now. Whatever comic you want to buy a child now in the UK, all it is plastic. They've got to give you something. That's the way they're sold. But I was so happy to pick up, I think there was about 20 something here that I got a little deal on, stuff like that. In the mid-70s, I was so happy to pick these up, and they're yellowed and fraying. they weren't a million quid. You know, £1 a pop, minus the deal when you pick up a big stack. Come on, come on. And then I picked this up, which the aforementioned Ian Kennedy, he didn't, his work across the decades, and I'm talking about decades in the UK industry, in the UK comic industry, is more comic covers than interior art. He has had his moments. One of his moments was doing this strip, Frontline UK. And as soon as I see it, and this was from Bullet, not Warlord. I don't think, did he do Smasher? He done Frontline UK, and I think he done Smasher for Bullet as well. I think they were both Bullet. Anyway, it was all the same publisher, DC Thompson. Don't confuse it with the American one. And to pick this up, like a graphic novel of Ian Kennedy's artwork, interior artwork of tanks, and yes, keeping it on the war theme. I've got the first issue of Battle, and then you just try and have to struggle to just keep up with a volume of the summer special in Britain, in UK. The summer special was a thing. The amount of people I talk to on threads that say, oh yeah, do you remember the summer special? Do you remember this? Do you remember that? We've all got the same member berries of how we grew up with these comics around us. And it will be completely different in each country of the world. It really will. And then we move on to more Battle. Again, I didn't get every issue. It wasn't like when I was a kid, you kind of pick up comics. Oh, that's a nice early issue as well. Look, 1975. Look how beautiful that cover is. That looks like, no, it's not a scarer. No, I was going to say that was in a skit. But anyway, covers like this, in with Battle, it was. This is what you're weaned on when you. But the rest of this entire pile, or the rest of this, was when in the UK, comics were folded into, when the sales went down, they were just folded into another title. And yeah, it was, this one was Battle and Storm Force. I think it was a toy line at the time, but I'll be honest, I was long gone by then. I'm just picking these up as, because they were cheap as anything. I picked them up. But the one thing, look, Battle and Action Force. But the one thing that made me do it was because we've got the original run of Charlie's War still in this. And this is when Charlie's War, the original Charlie's War, was World War One. And then obviously we skipped the 2 decades in, is it 2? Yeah. We skipped the 2 decades in between. And then Charlie's in Dunkirk. So I can't wait to have a little look at this. I forget this part of the story. I'll be honest, I do. I remember more or less every single panel and cover of Battle when the original Charlie's War was going, which would have been, so this is 86. So yeah, we're looking at the early, yeah, we're looking at 80, 79, 80, 81. So yeah, a few years later, I had to pick them up. Just had to get them. If you don't follow me on threads, look at that cover. British humour comic, Whoopee, doing a Judge Dredd pastiche. Yeah, more Battle Action Force. Right, now look at these. I was pleased to pick these up. I'd forgotten all about these. The Sideways Spider-Man comics. And if you're not familiar with these, I've got the Titans run. It was called Titans, like this, Sideways. And what Marvel did was give you 2 reprint pages per page. And the Titans was glorious stuff. Submariner. I haven't even looked at these yet, so obviously there's going to be Spider-Man in it. What the backup strips are, I don't know. Oh, Avengers? Yeah, Avengers. and you get two Thor. Night Basima Thor. Look, and you get two. How much comic content can you have? Anyway, at the same that this was all at the Commando swap meet because all it was British comics. Look at that lot. Look at that lot. Look. It's a glorious thing. An absolutely glorious thing. Couple more. Look, and I'm sure they've adapted. They've obviously cut and pasted one of the original Spider-Man covers there, haven't they? Which, you know, no, I've got no problem with that. But was really pleased, like a little step back in time. And then the final things, like a little random find. Little random find. That Bolland cover. British fanzine, talking about comics, back in, when would this have been? 1980. So that's only 45 years old. Bolland's done a cover. I'd never seen this before. Take a look at that. Beautiful Bolland cover. And this other one, same magazine, but Des Skin. That guy, he did a lot for comic fandom and moving fandom forward and bringing Marvel to the UK. Brilliant editor and doing original stuff as well. And I'm going to keep it on the Des Skin mood, which I've just realised because thanks to my old mate Paul, how you doing, darling, at Comics and Fantasy, Hornchurch, Essex, he done me a run of these. Look. And yes, I will show you the covers because this was one of Des Skin's earlier hits. It was a massive hit. And I don't know how this, because I know I've got a lot of American fans, sexy US subscribers. But I don't know if you're familiar with this. But in England, this particular, I can't call it a comic because half of it, more than half of it, is doing features on Hammer horror films. So I can't say it's a comic, but there were comic strips in there. John Bolton, Brian Bolland, who's in, and they would do comic book adaptations of Hammer films, which were quite interesting. Shandor, and would that have been? Yeah, John Bolton. Oh, Joe Colquhoun's in here as well. The aforementioned, when I was talking to you earlier on about Charlie's War, that was the artist. I didn't even know that. I'm just finding out now. Joe Colquhoun's done some artwork in here. I just thought it was always the war stuff he done. But anyway, beautiful. I'll have to investigate that a bit further. But look at these covers. If you're into, a lot of these were Brian Lewis. I couldn't tell you what ones are and what ones aren't, but I do know that Brian Lewis was one of the names attached to these. So yeah, to get a run like this, I've got a couple of issues, but other than that, these ones, I will admit, I didn't pick these up back in the day. I didn't. These passed me by. By the time I was introduced to, magazines like this, I think I was picking up Warrior and then looking at stuff like this. Lovely art, just beautiful artwork. Look at that. Just absolutely stunning artwork. And then Des decides to do the whole design to match Warrior. And if you know Warrior, then you know what I'm talking about. Look, the whole thing, quality communications, just bringing it into the fold, branding it professionally. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But this would have been when I was coming on board. Is there a year in there? It must be 83, maybe 84. I don't know. Why won't they put a year? Yep. So yeah, a whole stack of them. Look, a few more, an entire stack. Thanks to me old mate Paul. So that is all. That is all of the British. That is all the British comics that I bought. So shall we go to the United States for back issue fair now? My other old mate Paul, me new mate Paul, not me old mate, me new mate Paul at Cursed Earth. Hello to you. Done me a lovely deal. Done me a lovely deal on this little bunch. Look, this little bunch here. Here we go. 1959. The second appearance of the Legion of Superheroes. Have some of that. Nee. Like you all know, I'm not the biggest DC collector, but when I do want to collect it, I want to get the first appearance of Professor Zoom from 1963. But no, they're little beauties. And then this little set of Superboys. One of the first, you know, when Adventure Comics was doing nice, just some nice DC stuff from my new mate Paul. And one of my old muckers, my other old mucker. Come on, you sexy subscribers, you know he's a regular. My old mate Jamie, New Dawn Comics, with his logo on his bag. Rayleigh, Essex, Leon C, Essex. They're all within. They're just all within a little round. I can do Paul Hornchurch. I can do Jamie at Rayleigh. I can do Leon C. I can do the lot of them and plunder their wares. Love it, love it. I'm lucky, really. And there are more. There are also more comic shops in Essex, but no, I can't go to them all. And also the others, some of them are crap. But look, hold on to your helmets. Look at these. Oh, Jamie knew, didn't you? You knew. He had me at hello when he said, "Oh, Hog," because I don't like mentioning my real name, do I? I think everyone knows it by now, but anyway. He went, "Mate, I've got to run a Strange Tales here. Yeah, do you think you might be interested?" And I said, "Yeah." I didn't get excited. Well, I didn't get excited. Not one bit. Of course I did. I said, "Yes." I think out of everything he bought in, I think I only had 2 issues, 2 Strange Tales. Look, it's just, I mean, come on, enough said. Enough said. I don't have to explain, do I? Early Lee, when basically Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were the only ones really doing everything. Back in those days. And then, first Nick Fury Shield. Yes. Yes. Before this, it was just Doctor Strange and Human Torch. Now, yeah. Yes. Oh, look at this stuff. Beauties. Absolute beauties. I think that's Mary. Is that John or Mary? Marie Severin? No, I think that's John Severin actually. On that. Oh, look. And I've got to show every cover. It's not like the British stuff where I just show you a pile. I've got to show you. I've got to show you these. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Jamie. I've got more to pick up as well. So God knows where it's all going to end. Shall we keep it on? Should we keep it on something stuck together now? Couple of odd eBay purchases. Yeah, big guy. Look, Neil Adams. I was looking for a completely other issue of Dark Horse Presents. It was in. If you're a sexy subscriber with a good memory, I picked up an odd issue with Mick McMahon artwork in it. on Hellboy, and I was trying to find part 1 of the story I had. But in the meanwhile, I saw these two, and I thought, oh no, now I've got to get them. I don't mind. A nice little set of JSA. This is from Paul, Comics and Fantasy in Hornchurch, Essex. Nice little set of JSA All Stars. Let me know if this was worth picking up. It looked like it, because it's obviously Jeff Johns. There was another name in here that maybe, oh well, there's loads of names. Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, Jeff Johns. Oh, Winslade's in there. Kits, yeah. So I think you're all getting the idea of why I picked that set up. Yeah, I was blinded by the sheer little bit of Mobius, Elsewhere Prince, epic. I know it's just going to be good. I know it's not Mobius, it's one of his characters, but who is the artist on that? Oh, Eric Schanauer. So it's not exactly like an idiot doing it, but yeah, it's Mobius on the story, but not his artwork. And the same with these as well. These, I'd never seen these before, with Mobius covers. Beautiful. Again, just, is that a mixture? Is that a team up between Arzak and Blueberry? Let me know in the comments what you reckon. But yeah, just for how much they were, but I've never seen them. Like the rarity versus how much they are and who it is. It's a no-brainer. Like, as a comic collector, you're not going to turn away sets like this for that kind, for silly money. In the grand scheme of things, it's silly money, really. And to round it all off, right, we're going to go for the crescendo here, guys. So here's a few. This was the Comic Mart a few days ago, the London Comic Mart on Sunday. I think it was the 4th October, whatever the Sunday was, October the 4th or 5th. Nice little one of the vendors just had this little run of Captain America on the display, and just like, and I thought, yeah, I need them. Again, there was a couple I've already had, so I I'm only going to buy the ones I need. But so it's the Kirby, it's that 101, is it 100 or 101 onwards that we all need? Well, I've got 101, but yeah. So again, it's that Kirby Lee. Then it goes into a bit of Buscema, doesn't it? Bit of a Buscema era back in that day. And then you always forget, I always forget, Gene Colan did a nice little run on Captain, and he could do anything. In my head, Gene Colan will forever be Daredevil first and Tomb of Dracula. Just joint first, but not quite first, because it's Daredevil. But he did Captain America as well, amongst many other. Submariner, didn't he? He done everything. So that was a nice little run. A few Silver Age Captain Americas, love it. Absolutely love it. Went mad. Went absolutely bonkers. And then there was another vendor. Look at this, 1991. If you've never heard of Vaughn Bode or Vaughn Bode, I don't blame you, but you must have heard of Bernie Wrightson. Anyway, back in 1969, those naughty boys were doing these underground comics, and in 1991 they reprinted them. And they were naughty boys, drawing titillating pictures of vagines and stuff. And here's another one, Bernie Wrightson, 1972. Come on, underground comics, enough said. Let me know in the comments if you know what that title is. I'm not going to tell you. There's a no prize for you. You tell me the title, because it's not quite clear, is it? But it's Bernie Wrightson being a naughty boy. And now Wits End Woodwork, Wally Wood. Wits End Woodwork, Wally Wood. It's probably why they called it Woodwork. Oh, it's can play on words. Just realised that. Anyway, Wally, good, the legend that is Wally Wood. Issue 3 of Wits End Publications. I don't know if it says, no, it doesn't. But anyway, it's just all the glorious work of Wally Wood, one of the legends of comic book artwork. And you just don't see. The thing is, with this stuff, you just don't see it. I mean, I went a bit mental when I saw it. Oh, I'd had a couple of Stellas at lunch and went back into the comic mart. But other than that, I went a bit mental for this because you don't see it. Captain America, Silver Age Captain America, you know, la-di-da-di-da, Warlords, you know, yeah. You don't see this at every comic mart. I'm sorry, you don't. And I do enough of them. Anyway, the Chateau Neuf de Pape to round off this comic book haul is 5 little gems from the 50s. You're going to have to put up with the glare because I'm not going to get them out of here until I'm ready to read them. One of the guys had a run of EC. Look at this. 1951. Does it help if I bring it back so it don't glare? No, it's just these glary covers. But look, sorry, I do apologise for the glare, but I'm not going to just get them all out of the thing, am I? I don't know how to stop that glare, actually. It's really annoying, isn't it? But anyway, 5 of them look Vault of Horror. If I do that. Beauties. Jack Davis, Johnny Craig, Jack Kamen, Graham Ingles artwork, George Evans, all of your, look at that, nice Johnny Craig cover on that, look. All the stuff we've come to know and love. I've only got a few EC, but to see so many in the wild all at once, again, I got very, very excited and I went mental. And the bloke's got more. And he's there the 30th of November, so I will be there with more Spondulix because I need the EC. I need them. Ghastly Graham Ingles. Don't know why that's suddenly coming to my head. That's it. That's all. That's all I've got in my back issue haul this time round. I would say this week, but it's not. That's a good 2 and a bit weeks. So, because I was busy last weekend, so I couldn't do the video the weekend before, and la la la. That's a lot of comics. I'm drowning in them. I love it. I'm not going to keep complaining about it. I hope you enjoyed it, you sexy, sexy subscribers. If you're still here, thank you so much, because that was a bit of a journey. So you're even sexier than you normally are. And if you're new, thank you, welcome. And until next time, I'm going to bid you all adios.